It was a night that started with hopeful anticipation but took a dark turn, leaving me with an indelible mark of fear. We agreed to meet at a local pub, exchanging pleasantries and seemingly innocuous details about our lives before our encounter. As we chatted over drinks, everything appeared normal, and I felt a sense of relief that this might be one of the good ones. Little did I know, the night would escalate into a nightmare. As the evening progressed, his demeanor shifted abruptly. The friendly banter morphed into an unsettling interrogation, probing into personal details and boundaries. I felt a mounting sense of discomfort, but before I could react, he abruptly suggested we take a stroll through a nearby park. Navigating the dimly lit paths, I noticed a chilling glint in his eyes that sent shivers down my spine. The atmosphere became tense as he steered our conversation towards increasingly inappropriate and invasive topics. Attempts to change the subject were met with a disturbing persistence that made it clear this was no ordinary date. Suddenly, he veered off the path, leading me into an isolated area obscured by trees. Panic set in as the realization hit me. I was alone with a stranger in the darkness, far from the safety of the crowded pub. Before I could react, he lunged at me with a predatory intent that turned my stomach. Fear propelled me into survival mode, and I fought back with every ounce of strength, screaming for help. Fortunately, a passerby heard my cries and rushed to intervene, saving me from the escalating danger. The attacker fled into the shadows, leaving me shaken and traumatized. The police were called, but he managed to evade capture. The incident, born from a seemingly innocuous Tinder date, left me grappling with the aftermath of a chilling encounter. This story serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers lurking in the world of online dating. It's a cautionary tale for those seeking connection in the digital realm, urging vigilance and mindfulness when navigating the unpredictable landscape of meeting strangers in real life. I met Mark on Tinder, captivated by his charming profile and witty banter. Our initial conversations flowed effortlessly, and we decided to meet at a cozy local cafe for our first date. Little did I know that this encounter would spiral into a disturbing ordeal that left me questioning the reality of online connections. As we sipped our coffees, Mark seemed charismatic and engaging, matching the persona he had presented online. However, as the evening progressed, his behavior took an unsettling turn. He began fixating on obscure details from my social media accounts, recounting events and locations I had mentioned in passing. It felt like he had meticulously studied my online presence, turning our date into an invasion of my privacy. Unease settled in when he started discussing his knowledge of my daily routines and favorite hangout spots. The casual banter morphed into a creepy monologue that made my skin crawl. He spoke with an eerie confidence, detailing aspects of my life that no stranger should know. Attempting to divert the conversation, I suggested we change venues and head to a more public place. However, his response left me paralyzed with fear. Mark chuckled darkly and said, "I already know where you live, so changing locations won't make a difference." My heart raced as the realization sunk in. This Tinder date had evolved into a nightmare. Feeling trapped, I discreetly messaged a friend, subtly signaling for help. Mark, oblivious to my distress, continued to delve into personal details, revealing an alarming knowledge about my family and friends. Every attempt to steer the conversation away from this invasive topic proved futile. As the evening wore on, I devised a plan to escape this unnerving situation. Pretending to receive an urgent call, I hastily gathered my belongings and rushed out of the cafe, leaving Mark bewildered. Alone on the dimly lit street, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, convinced that this disturbing encounter had lasting implications. Reflecting on that night, I realized the dark side of online dating, the blurred lines between genuine connection and the potential for unsettling intrusion. It served as a haunting reminder that behind the digital facade of a charming profile, one could encounter a chilling reality that transcends the boundaries of consent and privacy. In the ambient glow of a chic coffee shop, I awaited my Tinder date with a mix of excitement and trepidation. His profile suggested a connection, and our initial conversations hinted at an enjoyable evening. Little did I know, the night would unfold into a chilling ordeal that shattered any illusions of a pleasant encounter. As he arrived, we exchanged pleasantries over steaming cups of coffee, the air alive with the promise of connection. However, the atmosphere shifted as the evening progressed. His demeanor, once friendly, transformed into an unsettling intensity. The conversation probed into personal details and boundaries with an uncomfortable fervor, setting an ominous tone. When he suggested we continue our conversation at his place, hesitation crept in, but the lingering hope of salvaging the night led me to agree. As we entered his dimly lit apartment, a sense of unease settled over me, the walls seemingly closing in on all sides. As the night unfolded, his behavior grew increasingly erratic, laughter taking on a sinister undertone. Attempts to steer the conversation back to safer ground were met with a chilling indifference, leaving me teetering on the edge of panic. Suddenly, his demeanor shifted once more, revealing a predatory gleam in his eyes. The gravity of the situation hit me. Alone with a stranger, his intentions anything but benign. My heart pounded as he moved closer, his touch cold and invasive, and I fought back against the rising tide of fear. With every ounce of strength, I screamed for help, desperate to escape the clutches of a nightmare threatening to consume me. In the chaotic aftermath, a neighbor responded to my cries, his timely intervention sparing me from the clutches of a predator. As I fled into the safety of the night, I vowed never to underestimate the dangers of online connections.